confuse it. I heard you saying you don't like hip house music, but yo, this is true hip hop. Without hip house, I'm still on top. Every time I come out, somebody's lame. A smart remark that you've been saying about how I rap. To turn up the bass, you didn't like it, cause you ain't got no taste. Then I bust out. Well, let's get hype, and from you, just stereotype. Kool rock steady's on the MIC, but I'm not out to diss the whole BDP. Just one sucker claiming to rule the party. KRS-One, you ain't nobody. You ain't got no party. You ain't got no party. You ain't got no party. Kool rock steady came to throw it. I'm not MC Shan, a king poet. Whatever I say on the wax, I can show it. Can I defeat you, punk? I know it. You always frontin' off like you got a lot of knowledge, coming off like you had 10 years of college, but deep down inside, you're just an average guy. So how could the girlie say that you fly with your big nose and your phony talk? You know it's so wide it can hold New York, but I didn't come here to crack jokes with you, kid. I came to let you know it was stupid what you did. Kool rock steady's on the MIC, but I'm not out to just the whole BDP. Just one sucker claiming to rule the party. KRS-One, you ain't nobody. You ain't got no party. You ain't got no party. Trying to gain fame off the four-letter name. The Kool rock steady's already got fame. Talking about worldwide, I'm worldwide too. Let me correct that. I'm universal, fool. When I see you out there, you play you don't know me. Deep down inside, you know you wanna hold me. But there's one sucker claiming to rule the party. KRS-One, you ain't nobody. You ain't got no party. You ain't got no party. You ain't got no party. Sucker. My KRS-One. You know where to find me, chillin' in Chicago, yeah, the Windy City. If I'm not there, I'll be in New York, in the Bronx River, doing my tour. I know I hurt your feelings and your heart. Check it out, old boy, you ain't got no part. But there's a sucker claiming to rule the party. KRS-One, you ain't nobody. You ain't got no part. You ain't got no part. You ain't got no part. Sucker.
So, Mr. Kool rock steady, is that really how you feel about KRS-One?
Yeah, you know it, because the brother be like frontin', you know what I'm saying? He's scared, you know what I'm saying? He's scared that the hip-house market is gonna overflood the hip-hop market, which is definitely true, you know what I'm saying? So yo, it was like a couple of months ago, I was off on tour, and my mother, Miss Big Stuff, was at home listening to the radio. She said she heard him in an interview. He was like, "Hi, I'm KRS-One from Boogie Down Productions, and you know, frontin' like he's a brother of another color, you know what I'm saying?" That's bull. Kool rock steady's like out of here. And remember, I roar every time.